Okay, good morning. Welcome, everyone. First things first, is everybody here for Math 107 pre-calculus? Nobody has to get up and do the walk of shame because they're in the wrong class on the first day of class? I did that when I was a freshman many, many years ago. Second here. Okay, lots of things that I want to do today. So hopefully everybody has their laptop and we can stay on task and we can get everything done. Let's just start with some introductions. My name is Jamie Worth. You can call me Jamie, you can call me Dr. Worth, whatever. I'm the chair of the math department. I am also the director of the Great Plains STEM Education Center that we have here on campus. This is my 12th year at VCSU. Prior to coming here, I taught high school math in Wyndmere, North Dakota, which is down by Wahpeton in the corner of the state, if you guys know where that is. So this is actually my 16th year of being a math teacher. And we'll get to know each other a little bit more as we get going. But I want to figure out who you are and put a face with the name on my roster. And I like to do this little seating chart thing where I take a picture of the class and then I write your name in on the chair that you're sitting in. So as I learn your name, before we even do that, I hope you're comfortable with the seat that you're sitting in, because if you want to move, I'd like you to move now before I write your name down. This is going to help me learn my names. Anybody want to move? Anybody not like the person next to them? And hopefully everybody can see. This is it. I mean, we're not going to fill this room. So I don't know if you can see back there, or if you want to move up later because things look a little small or something like that, feel free to move around. But this is how I'm going to learn your names. Now, if you go by a different name, or if you can help me pronounce your name, that would really help here. Isaac, welcome. Isaac. Nicole, Folsom. Going once, going twice. Hunter Gibson. Hunter. 3. Hannah Gordon. All right. Hannah. Let's see. Madison. Do you go Madison? Maddie? Maddie. Okay. And how do you say your last name? Grono. Okay. Mason. Sure. Mason, all right. 1, 2, 3. Mason. Harmony. All right. Harmony. Martin. Martin. Go by Martin? Yeah. Yep. Okay. And Colby. All right. How do you say your last name? Mendiola. All right. Just like it looks. Okay. Colby. Tabitha? Hello? Tabitha? You go by Tabitha? Okay. And Kenzie? Hello, Kenzie? 2, 3, 4. Grace? Grace, are you from Valley City? Yeah. Who's your parents?
Lonnie and Jody.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Your sister's name is Michaela is the one that used to be my student. Okay, yep. Zach, saw you. Riley. How do you say your last name?
Schman.
Say again?
Schman.
I'll just call you Riley. And Charisma? How do you say your last name? Sosi. Okay. Did I miss anybody? What's your name?
Ashley. I think you said my middle name.
Oh.
I'm Folsom.
Oh, I called you Nicole.
Yeah.
I should have said Ashley.
Yeah, I heard Folsom.
Uh-huh.
I've never met anyone else with my last name.
My fault. It says Ashley Nicole, and I screwed up. Ashley. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, 100% attendance. We're off to a great start here.
I won't respond to Nicole.
Okay. I'll cross Nicole out. I'll just pretend it doesn't exist. Okay. Okay, thank you. So a few things that I want to do here today. Number one, if everybody could go find their Blackboard homepage. You guys find it? You might notice that I'm wearing a microphone and I've got this iPad following me around. Okay? That's because I'm recording class. And I record class for two reasons. Okay? One, if for some reason you need to be gone or you're gone for sports or you're sick or something like that, within like 90 minutes of the end of class, there will be a link for you to watch class. So if you miss class, you can watch class. Okay? Second reason that I do it is at some point in the future, maybe next semester, maybe this summer, it's very possible that I'm going to be offering this class online. Okay? And what I like to do for my online students is I try to give them the most real face-to-face experience that they can have. I try to make it as much like the experience that you guys have. And one way to do that is I give them access to, here's the day one class that we did, here's day two, here's day three, day four, and I record class every single day so they can watch it as though that they were in the class, right? Now, in order for me to do that, however, I need your help. Some of you might be aware of what FERPA is, F-E-R-P-A. Anybody know what it stands for? Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act. Okay? So what that means is it's actually against the law for me to walk out in the hallway right now and the next person that walks by say, hey, Ashley is in this class. I just violated your privacy rights by saying that. I can't go home and tell my wife that, oh, Lonnie Shear's daughter is in my class. That's against the law for me to do that, okay? Maybe you guys didn't know that. Okay? Which is funny because anybody can walk by and look in the window and see you, right? It's a goofy law, I get it. Okay, so when I record class, I might say a student's name like I just did, right? Or I might walk around over here and, oh, Charisma just got on camera. Or Martin might say something in the background, and somebody watching the video might say, that sounds like Martin, right? So the video could capture your voice, your likeness, I could say your name, all of those things could happen. And what would happen then if I take that video next semester and show it to my online students? One of my online students might say, oh, I know Ashley. I didn't know she was in that class. See where I'm going with this? So here's what I'm asking you to do. What I hope everybody is willing to do is to waive your enrollment for this class so that if that happens, you're letting me use this video. Does that make sense? So I would like you to click on this FERPA enrollment waiver form. Okay? Now you have the right to not agree if you want to. Okay? Notice you can either click I agree to release my enrollment record for this class, or I do not agree. I really, really want all of you to click agree. But if you choose to not agree, I might just ask you why later on, after a while. And because if one of you chooses not to agree, that foils my whole plan. Okay? So we might have to come up with a different plan. So I really hope you're going to click agree. But you have the right to choose not agree if you want. And then type in your name and type in today's date and click submit. So I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Any questions on any of this? Did the link work for everybody? Yeah.
Can I do that again?
Let me guess, you put your birthday instead of today's day. Don't worry about it. Somebody else did that this morning. Don't worry about it. We'll just pretend that you filled out this form 20 years ago. Any other questions or comments? Going once? Going twice? Okay, thank you. Next item. Let's go to Blackboard. I'm going to go through a lot of things with you here. The first thing I want to do is go to syllabus and schedule. Click on the syllabus. You can follow along on the screen or you can follow along on your own computer. I'm not going to read this whole darn thing to you, but you can see my contact information. We'll talk textbooks in just a second. The course schedule. Office hours. I wear a lot of hats on campus, both administrative and different committees and stuff like that. I don't have specific hours during the day where I'm guaranteed to be in my office. So if you want to meet with me, the best way to do that is to set up an appointment. So you can either talk to me before class or after class or whatever. You can shoot me an email. That's probably the best. And we'll set up an appointment, certain day, certain time, and then I'll be sure to be in my office when we set up that appointment. But if you just come randomly looking down for me in my office, there's a good chance I won't be there. Okay? Course description you can read on your own. Course outcomes you can read on your own. We're going to download a piece of software called Geogebra in just a second, and we'll do that together. Course schedule. It says a tentative schedule is provided on Blackboard. So if you go back to Blackboard, it's the other link that goes on here. Go ahead and click on that long link underneath course schedule. And what that should do is it should pull up an Excel spreadsheet, and it looks like that. This is a copy of the Excel spreadsheet that's on my computer. So you have a live look at it. Every time you click on that link, it's live. So if I make a change on here, it'll change on yours too. Okay? So what I've done is I've scheduled all the way from today all the way to your final test, and I believe this is going to be pretty darn close to what the whole schedule is going to look like, but this might change. Okay? Full disclosure, I've never taught this class before. Math 107 Pre-Calculus. I've taught college algebra many times. I've taught trigonometry. I've taught this in high school, so I've taught the math content of this course. I've just never taught it as Math 107 Pre-Calc. So normally when I have a class that I've taught over and over and over and over again, I've got all my activities, all my assignments just right down to a T, and it is planned and it is done. This class, I'm not quite there yet because this is the first go-around that I've put this content together. So the textbook we're using in this, never used it before. Okay? Some of the quizzes and the open math stuff that I'm going to show you, never used it before. So I'm going to be learning and going along with you guys as we go here. So if you look, oh, hey, what activity are we going to do in class on November whatever? Yeah, there's something listed there right now, but it's very possible that that's going to change. Okay? So I will update this as we go, but you can see in there, I'm giving you Monday off, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. In red are your off days, so Monday is Labor Day. In blue is when we're tentatively scheduled to take tests here in class. Here's another off day, September 27th. That's Dr. Lefebvre's inauguration day, and it's at the time of this class too. So I encourage you guys to go to our new president's inauguration. I'm actually going to be in Bismarck that day anyway, so even if it wasn't for the inauguration, I wasn't going to be here. So you got Friday, September 27th off. Veterans Day, of course, is an off day. Did you guys know that Thanksgiving break, a lot of you are freshmen, so this might not be new to you, but it used to be that for Thanksgiving break, you got Thanksgiving Day, Thursday off, and the Friday after it, but we had class the day before Thanksgiving. Not this year. You got that day off now, so thank your student senate rep for that. So it's a little bit longer weekend. So you get the Wednesday off before Thanksgiving as well. I want to point out the final test. The final test in here at the very last line is Monday, December 16th. Specifically, I want to point this out because this year's semester gets very close to Christmas. So our final is on a Monday. That's not too bad. But you might have a final on, say, Wednesday or Thursday of finals week. And you also might be traveling home for Christmas, and home might be a very far distance. And you might already be thinking about buying plane tickets and stuff like that. Just know, and I put this at the very bottom of the syllabus, it's the final exam policy, VCSU's final exam policy. You must be here. This isn't just for this class, this is for every class you take at VCSU. You must be at the final on the date and the time that it is advertised, okay? If you have a final and you say, oh, I can't be here because whatever, I'm going home early for Christmas, or I have a family reunion, or whatever, when you take that to the Vice President of Academic Affairs, what do you think she's going to tell you?
No.
She's going to tell you no, okay? And that's basically what this policy says. You must be at your final when it is there. So I encourage you, not only for this class, but for all of your classes, look when your final tests are and mark it in ink because it's not going to change. And make sure you make your travel arrangements and stuff around that. Like, don't go buy a plane ticket and find out that your plane ticket, you're going to have to change it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, any questions there? So the schedule, you guys know where to find it. I will update it as we go. I'm going to go back to the syllabus. So I was on schedule. Okay, course evaluation. How are you going to get a grade in this course? If you scroll down to the chart, this is an estimate roughly of what we're going to do in here. We're going to have different quizzes that you can work on. I think I counted up 37 of them. It's going to be around 300 points. That's probably going to change because I need to make some edits and stuff like that. Roughly speaking, though, about half of your grade is going to come from the quizzes we're going to take and some projects and activities that we do in class. And the other half of your grade is going to come from tests. We're going to take 3 regular chapter tests, and then we're going to take a final test at the end. Again, this is subject to change a little bit. This is an estimate. Okay? Those quizzes that I speak of, I'm going to show you them in a little bit. The quizzes, you're going to go into a quiz, and I put in the underline, it says each quiz item can be attempted multiple times, okay, until you get the grade that you're satisfied. So let's say you go into the quiz, and it's got 10 questions, and it's worth 10 points, and you go to number 1, and you answer it, and you get it wrong. It's going to let you try it again. And you answer it, and you get it wrong again. It's going to show you the answer key. You can click and say, oh, that's what the answer was. And then you can regenerate a new question, and you can try it again. And then if you get it wrong again and wrong again, you can. I think I've made it so you can regenerate it 100 times. If you need more than 100, sorry. Okay? I set those quizzes up so that if you want to get 100% on it, you can. It's practice. It's for you to go through and do it as many times as you want. If you get 6 out of 10 and you're cool with that and you don't care about the extra 4 points, then when the due date comes and your grade says 6 out of 10, then you got a 6 out of 10. And that's the points that you earned on that, okay? So you can regenerate that question, and then each quiz will remain available up until the given due date. And the due date is going to be on the day that we take the test for that particular chapter. So if I go back to the schedule, the very first test is Wednesday, September 18th is what we have. And I have about 7 quizzes that go with that chapter, okay? That means you can start working on those quizzes anytime between now and September 18th. You can go back in, leave, come back later, do it the next day. Right before the test, if you want, you can go back in. It's just a running thing that you can do over and over and over again. And then when that test day comes, I'm going to shut it off. And there's no more accessing those quizzes anymore. Question?
Will you reopen them for finals?
Yes. Yep, fantastic question. I can reopen them for just practice. It won't count for a grade, but you can practice. And I'm going to have a bunch of other quizzes that don't even count for a grade, that are optional, that are like review for tests and finals. Great question. Yep. Make sense? Okay. And I'll show you, I'll give you one of those practice quizzes to do before you leave here today so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, back to the syllabus. Now, when you take a test, the way I've set it up is that you'll be able to click on an item. If you get it wrong, you get a second chance to enter an answer for half credit for 50%. And if you get it wrong again, that's it. It's over. Okay? So not quite as user-friendly as a quiz, if you will. Okay, but that's the way I've kind of got the test set up. By the way, this system that I'm using for these quizzes and tests, also brand new to me. I just stumbled upon this a month ago. And I'm like, wow, wouldn't this be great for my pre-calc and for my finite math class? And then now, if I had a nickel for the number of hours that I've put in trying to get this ready, it's been a ton of work, and it's almost ready. Okay? So bear with me as I go, because this system is brand new to me as well. Here's what I believe in. I do not believe in making my students buy $200 textbooks for math class. That's why I'm giving you a free textbook. And I also don't believe in making you pay $70, $80, $90 for an access code for practice homework. That's why I went out and I found a free one. It's called myopenmath.com, and it's wonderful. Okay? So you're welcome. It should cost you $0 to be in this class other than your tuition and fees, right? So that's what I'm trying to build for you. But like I said, it's a new system. I don't have every quiz and every assignment and every test ready to go yet, but I will as we get going. Okay. Okay. It says unless otherwise stated, all of your quizzes, all of your tests, all of your projects, these are open notes, open book. We're going to download a software, graphing software called Geogebra. Open. I'm never going to take that stuff away from you. Open calculator. Okay? So when you do this kind of stuff, especially like when it comes time for a test, it's basically open everything except your neighbor. Okay? You just need to work on it by yourself. But I'm not going to take your calculator away. I'm not going to take your notes away, anything like that. Okay? Speaking of calculators, we're going to download that software in a little bit. Some of you might have a calculator. Like I have a TI-84 graphing calculator. You don't need to go out and buy a special calculator, okay? What you should have at minimum is a calculator that can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. One that has a logarithm button, one that has a square root button, so like a scientific calculator. If you have an app on your phone that serves as that sort of calculator and you're comfortable using that, that's fine. But if I were you, I'd have at least some kind of handheld calculator other than your laptop. You know what I mean? It's just nice to have there beside your paper as you get working. But you don't need to go out and buy an expensive one. Okay? Okay. Let's go back to Blackboard. Okay, so under announcements, we already did that FERPA enrollment thing. Your textbook. There's actually 2 textbooks for this course. One of them, the main one we're going to use, is this one for chapters 1 through 7. It's called Pre-Calculus. The other one we're going to use I called it Algebra Chapter 2, because we're going to use Chapter 2 from that book. So there's actually 2 books that you need to download. And we'll be done with the first one after the first 9 or 10 days of class. So there's the first one. It's a free download PDF. Go ahead and download it now or later if you want. And there's the second one. Again, download free PDF. If you actually want to hold a physical copy of a textbook, then they are available for purchase. And if you scroll down to course materials, I put a link. I think it's like an Amazon link and something else like for $50 or $60. You can actually get the thick, heavy book if you want to have that. Honestly, I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you really want one, you can buy one if you want. Questions on textbooks? The quizzes and the things that I'm going to show you in that My Open Math are aligned to the textbook. So section 1 dot whatever will be section 1 dot whatever from the textbook. They're aligned together. Okay? Okay, let's download that Geogebra software. That's number 2. It says click on this link to download. Let's do that together. I see nothing but PCs in here. Oh, Mac! I'm anti-Mac, by the way. All of this works better on a PC. So you're going to be a problem, Tabitha. So I'll work with you, okay? Why in the world do you have a Mac? What's your major, Tabitha?
Athletic training.
Okay. You're going to go to physical therapy school? Is that the plan? That's what my son is doing, too. He's in exercise science. Okay. Yeah, and he has a Mac, too, now that I think about it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Download the Geogebra software. Click on this link. Everybody there? I'd like you to download Geogebra Classic 5. And there's the download. So if you have a PC, you should just be able to click there and then go agree and install. And, you got to jump through all the hoops to get it. When you have it done, you can see I have my little icon tagged down on my taskbar. And when you have it done, it should open up. And it should look like that when you get it to open. Flag me down if you have a problem. I know you're going to have a problem, Tabitha. Did it work? Have you tried it yet?
Yeah.
It, depending on, do you use Safari?
Yeah.
Okay. See if it works. See if you can get it to actually save to your computer. You might have to do, I know for sure when I show you the quizzes in a little bit, you're either going to have to use probably Firefox or Chrome, because all my Mac students this morning couldn't access that My Open Math from their Safari because of the settings. So we'll see how that goes as we get going. Is anybody having any trouble getting the software downloaded? It's free download. You shouldn't have to ever log in or do anything like that. So we're going to practice using this software, not today, but starting on Friday we will. And I'm going to show you, basically it's just like Word and PowerPoint and everything else. You open it, you do a file, you do something, and you save it. Instead, so like a Word document is .docx, right? PowerPoint is .pptx. This is going to be .ggb is the file name. Okay, so you can save it in folders and stuff like that, the same way you would do any other thing. How do we do? Any issues? Good to go? If you're having any issues or you want to look at something, we can do that after class really quick today too. But I'm going to move on. Let's see. The other thing I would like you to do is I would like you to, I'm going to come back to that one. Let's go to Blackboard. I'm going to come back to this Create a Microsoft Office 365 folder. Let's go back to Blackboard. And I'm going to go down to the next link that we haven't looked at yet. It's called Course Docs and Links. And right now it's empty. And what this is going to be is as we go through the semester, if I have a document I'm going to give you, if I have a website we're going to practice an activity on, stuff like that, this is just going to be a catch-all for different links and different documents.
Why did the notes in the assignment on paper?
No, you can skip out of that. I think if you just exit out. Geogebra,
It'll work, okay.
yeah, the Geogebra, you can like create your own login, your username and password, and I have one and I never use it. I think it's so like you can upload some of your documents to the Geogebra tube and the Geogebra cloud, and you can have you don't have to create your own account. Yeah, unless you really want to. I don't even know what you do with an account. I don't know if I've ever logged into mine before. So, moving on, tutorials, quizzes, and tests. Click on that one. You guys see that? Okay. This is, I'll come back to the syllabus quiz in a little bit. This My Open Math. This is that software I was telling you about that I just stumbled upon a month ago. This is where we're going to access, there's video tutorials on there. They're going to be optional, but they're there if you want to watch them. There's the quizzes that I've been talking about, the ones that you can regenerate and you can redo, and then and some tests on there as well that we'll do eventually. What I'd like you to do, this is just going to be practice. Do you see the one that's called Intro to Quiz Test Answer Entry? This is where you're going to have a problem, Tabitha, because I bet it won't open in Safari. But everybody else, click on this, and it should launch a quiz. It says a 5-point possible, an intro assignment for entering answers. Did everybody get that to launch? And you might need to try it in Firefox or Chrome.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get it to download.
Oh, the Geogebra?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can come back to that one later too. What I'd like you to do is click on Start Assessment, and I just want you to see kind of the interface and what it looks like. So notice there's question 1. You can jump down to any of the 5 questions. You can toggle ahead to question 2 to question 3 and so forth. And every time you enter an answer, it's going to tell you you earned 1 for 1 or 0.33 out of 1 or something like that. So this is just a practice. Mine says there's 3 items on number 1. Mine says enter the number 74.1359. Does anybody have a different number there other than 74.1359? Yeah, it's different because everybody's is different. Everybody has the same question, but it jumbles the numbers. Does that make sense? So your neighbor might have a different problem than you have, even though you're working on the same content. Okay? So it says type it in exactly without rounding. So if I type in 74.1359, okay, and I'm going to, before I submit the question, I'm going to do the other ones. Go ahead and just submit. If you want, try getting one of them wrong so you see what happens. So I'm going to get number 2 wrong. It says round to 2 decimal places. 74, it should be 0.14. But I'm going to put 0.13. I'm going to get it wrong on purpose. Okay? And then 74 divided by 0, that does not exist, so I can enter DNE or I can click on DNE. So when I click submit, I'm expecting that 2 of them are correct and 1 of them is wrong. So I click submit, and sure enough, I got 0.67 out of 1. I got one of the 3 wrong. So you can try to get it right or try to get it wrong. I just want you to play around with it. So what did I say was going to happen if you get one wrong? You can try it again. So it says you can retry this question below. Notice it's not a new question, it's the same one. You can retry it twice. What happens if I get it wrong a second time? Then I got to generate a brand new question and start all over again. Okay? So far I've got a 0.67 out of 1. Let's say I go down here and I'm like, oh, you know what? This was supposed to be a 4. I resubmit it, and now when it turns green, that means you got 100%. 1 for 1. So I'm good to go. I'm done with question number 1. Okay? Now, if I wanted to try a similar question for number 1, I can do try similar question and regenerate another one. But once you've earned 1 for 1, it'll never let you go backwards. Like, let's say I try another one and I get it wrong. It's not going to reduce the grade that I've already earned. Does that make sense? So now I'm just going to go to question number 2. And it says input square root of 5. So this is just practice, trying to do it. Input 5/7. Whatever. Let's say I don't even answer the last one. So I submit it. Sure enough, I only got 2/3 credit. Let's say I tried to, I'll put in a wrong answer here, and I submit it again, and it's wrong. Oh, I didn't even do valid. Oh, it didn't even let me enter it because I didn't do. See if I get it wrong. Okay, notice I got it wrong. Now I can click on the answer key. It'll tell me what the correct answer was supposed to be. And I can't retry this question. I have to try a similar question, and it'll regenerate a whole new number 2 for me again. So again, you'll get used to this as you do it, but the idea is you can try it twice. Once you fail twice, you got to regenerate a new question, and you can do that up to 100 times, and just do it until you feel like you're confident, or until you get 100% and you're ready. Did everybody at least get into the quiz? Yeah? Good. What I'd like you to do now, did everybody at least answer one question? You have some score other than 0 right now? Okay, what I'd like you to do is go back out into Blackboard. So like click on your Math 107 pre-calculus at the top. So you're leaving the quiz, right? Do you think it saved for you? It did. It just saves in real time. You don't even have to click save. So let's say you're working on a quiz and it's like, oh, I got to go. I'm not done with this quiz. No problem. You can exit out of it. When you decide to come back into the quiz, go ahead and try to get back into it now. Go back like, okay, now I'm going to finish that quiz I started working on. So I'm going to go to the link again. I'm going to click Intro to Quiz Test Answer Entry. And it says reset. Does yours guys say reset or continue? Or does it only say continue? Okay, I think the reset is just for me as the instructor. So I would click continue. And it should pick up right where you left off. Did it work for everybody? I hope so. Again, this is a brand new system. You are my guinea pigs on this. So far, it's working the way that I expected it to work. Okay, so this is how all these quizzes are going to go. You can go in them. You can work on them. You can come back a week later. You can go back in and work on it again. And when am I going to cut you off? The day of the test. Okay? So one of your assignments for Friday is going to be to finish this guy. This quiz, okay? And hopefully you can all get 5 out of 5, okay? But you don't necessarily need to finish it right now, okay? Because I want to move on and let you go a little bit early today. So I'm going to go back to Blackboard. Let's see. I did that. We did that. We did that. Okay. The next item that we haven't looked at yet is class session. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to tutorials, quizzes, and tests, where you guys found that stuff. Notice that all the chapters we're going to cover here, this is that chapter 2 from the algebra book, and then there's a test. If you click on the test right now, click on it. Click on that Alg 2 test. I'm hoping it says not available.
Yeah.
Okay. I will make it available by the time we take the test, obviously, but it's not available now, right? So, but if you click on the folder, chapter Algebra 2, it's chapter 2 from the algebra book. That's what that means. Notice we're going to do section 2.1, 2, 3, all the way through 7. So if I go to section 2.1, for example, each folder has video lessons in it, and it has an assignment or a quiz, if you will, in it. Okay? The videos are optional. These are, I'm never going to require you to watch one of these videos. They're purely there for your reference. Like, let's say, oh, I can't remember how to graph equations by plotting points. Click on it. There's an 8-minute YouTube video there that you can watch. Okay? Or I can't remember the distance formula or how the distance formula works or the midpoint, blah, blah, blah. Click on it. And you can watch a tutorial on your own time. Okay? And then, eventually, you'll do the assignment. And this assignment is exactly the same as that practice one that you were just doing. Okay? This one, it says 10 points possible. Now, don't click on these assignments quite yet. Okay? I don't want you to start 2.1 and 2.2 and 2.3 because I'm going to go through and edit some of the questions and trim them down, and I haven't had a chance to do all that yet. So if you're one of those people that likes to work ahead and do all of your quizzes right away, don't do it yet, because I'm going to end up resetting it and you're going to have to start over anyways. So the only quiz I'd like you to work on right now is that practice one that you were doing earlier. Okay? And I'll have the rest of these quizzes and whatnot ready to go by the time I assign them to you. Okay? Comments or questions on that? So that's everything that's under that link, under tutorials, quizzes, and tests. Okay, class session recordings. Remember, I'm recording this class with the Swivl today. So eventually, Wednesday, August 28th, there will be a link there, and you can watch class from Wednesday, August 28th. I'll show you what it looks like really quick. When you go to watch a video, here's one of mine. Oh, here's my one from this morning. I'm not sure everybody signed the FERPA on that one yet, so I'm not going to show you that one. I'll show you one from last semester. Math 313 from last semester. Okay, so you load it up like this. You click play. You can hear the audio, right? So that's me from last semester. Look how young I looked. Okay, so you can expand it to full screen. And notice it's capturing two things. It's capturing the video that follows me around. That's what the iPad's doing. And it's also capturing everything that's on my computer screen at that time. So if you only want to see me, you can just maximize me and not see the computer screen. Or if you only want to see my computer screen, you can do it that way, right? Every once in a while, I try not to use like the whiteboard a lot, but every once in a while I might write something like right up here. Well, that'll show up on that camera angle then, right? And then the other thing you can do is if you want to, if it's a 40-minute video and you only have 20 minutes to watch it, you can watch it in double speed. So then I'll be talking like this and it'll be going really fast. Right? You can even watch it in 5 times speed, but that, or 10 times. That'll be almost unwatchable, I think. But anyways, that's what it looks like so that you can watch class. Questions on that? Okay, moving along. Just going down here, course tools. You should always be able to check your grades 24/7. Okay, one of the items on your course eval that you do at the end of every course, it says, the instructor kept me apprised of my current grade. Okay, and anybody who marks do not agree to that, you were not paying attention. You can check your grade 24/7 whenever you want by clicking right there. In fact, click there. It'll show you the current grade that you have on that quiz that you've been working on. Does it show up? Yeah, there you go. So you can check your grade right now. What does it look like on the student view? Is anybody in there? Okay, if you scroll down, does it tell you how many points all these things are worth? Yeah, okay. Do you see off to the side where it says out of 25, out of 15, out of 5, out of all that? Those are probably going to change for a lot of those quizzes. That's why I said don't start on them yet. Because some of them are worth 30 points. And I'm like, I'm not giving you a 30-item quiz. I'm going to trim it down to like 10 or something like that. So that's some work that I still have to do to get ready. So don't get too bent out of shape with the possible points on each one of those assignments because a lot of that's going to change. Okay. And then you're going to see a lot of items in the Grade Center that aren't those assignment 2.1, assignment 2.2. It'll be other activities that we're going to do in class. And some of those might go away. I might add new ones in there. That's all going to change as we go. Okay, GeoGebra help. It's just a couple videos and a PDF doc that if you want to look something up on GeoGebra, like how do I graph this on GeoGebra, blah, blah, blah. We're going to start practicing with that software on Friday, but that's just a help doc there. And then student support and policies. This is, you'll find this link on every one of your VCSU Blackboard courses. You can find policies on pretty much anything. I already showed you the final test policy, right? We talked about that. The only other policy that I want to specifically mention is the academic integrity policy, which involves like plagiarism or cheating or stuff like that. I hate to say this, but pretty much every single semester I end up flagging or turning in a student for academic integrity violation, and I hate doing that. It's one of the worst things that I have to do as a teacher. What does that mean? I give you a project, and you take your buddy's project and put your name on it and turn it in, okay? That happens all the time, and I hate busting students for that. That's the typical one. So when those quizzes and whatnot, I don't care if you work on them with your friends and stuff like that, and you have a different quiz anyways, right? We already established that. But if I give you like some kind of project or some kind of Excel spreadsheet to build or something like that, and I can tell it's not yours, it came from somewhere else, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So I want your work to be authentic. Obviously, like in English composition, when you're writing papers, plagiarism is a big deal there, right? We're not going to write a lot of papers in here, so plagiarism isn't really part of writing, but it's part of doing projects. So I wanted to make you aware of that. Okay. I think I've covered everything except one thing, and I want you to go back to the home page. Underneath the welcome, create a Microsoft 365 OneDrive folder. How many of you are up to speed on what Office 365 is, OneDrive? Did you get some training this weekend with your new computer? Most of you are freshmen? Who's freshman? Okay, so some of you are sophomores and juniors. So you know what I'm talking about when I say Office 365? Do you guys know how to share a folder with somebody? Okay, let's kind of do this together. What I'd like you to do, somewhere on your computer, I want you to make a folder that is called firstname.lastname.math107. So hunter.gibson.math107. This is going to be a folder that you're going to share with me. Now, if you want to have a separate folder for other Math 107 stuff that's just for you, go for it. Okay? But I want you to make one that you're going to share with me. Okay? So let's say I was doing this. Shoot, I'm sorry. How many of you are already running the Blue Cloud and you've got your files constantly going up to the cloud back and forth nonstop? You're doing that? Anybody else doing that? Okay. If you're doing that, it's easy. If you're not doing that or you don't know what I'm talking about yet, then you need to go to office.com. So office.com. And I'm already logged in, but it's going to ask you to log in, and you're going to have to enter your username and password, the same one that you use for Blackboard, and you're going to look for this thing called OneDrive. How we doing? If I log out, let's see what happens if I log out. If I sign out, office.com looks like something like that. Apparently it's still no. So I got to sign in. Oh, you got to use @ndus instead of @vcsu. Did anybody figure that out? I know, it's complicated. Lots of stuff going on here. When you log in, It's your login at ndus.edu. Then if you guys have a two-factor thing like I do, you got to do that. Mine's already good. Stay signed in, yes. Eventually you need to get to this screen. This is where I'm hoping you can get. Is anybody having trouble? Are we all there? So you're in OneDrive. Beautiful. Okay. When you go to OneDrive, this will be all of your files that you already have in OneDrive. You can see mine are all going to show up, all these folders. What I do, and OneDrive is being a little slow, I would highly recommend that you figure out how to use the OneDrive client. The way I run it on my computer is every single folder that I have, every file that I have, is both physically on my computer and it's on my OneDrive account. And when I update it, it runs in the background and it constantly syncs. Some of you know what I'm talking about because you're running the little OneDrive client, the little blue cloud down in the corner. So then if I ever want to share anything with anybody via OneDrive, I can just go click, share, and go. I don't have to create new folders or anything like that. If my computer burns up, I didn't lose all my files. Everything I have updates to the cloud automatically. So I would highly recommend that you do that. But what you'd want to do here is just make a new folder. Call it firstname.lastname.math107. This is going to be where I'm going to have you, when we do a project, I'm going to have you put it in that folder so that I can go to office.com, I can search for your folder, I can pull it up, and I can see your document in your folder instead of you emailing it to me and me emailing it back. I'm trying to cut down the email clutter. See where I'm going with this? Okay, so when you create your new folder, you would go first.last.math107, something like that. And don't just call it math folder, because what do you think happens when I have 100 students and I go to find your folder and it's called math folder? Everybody's is called math folder. You got to put your name in there so I know how to find it, right? That's why I said first name dot last name dot math107. So I create it, and now I don't even know where. There it is. And now I go on this little share guy, and this is being really slow. You want to just create a share with specific people, maybe. OneDrive is really doggy this morning. Anyways, share with specific people. Find my name. You can just start typing in jamie.worth, W-I-R. It'll pop up. All the VCSU people pop up. Click on my name, and then also click the little box that says allow editing. Because you might send me a spreadsheet and I might want to type numbers into it. So I want to be able to allow the editing. Is anybody else's being slow, or was mine the only one? Okay. So if you don't get this figured out in the next 2 minutes before class is over, that's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay? But that's the last thing I want you to do today. So I'm going to go back to Blackboard really quick because we only have 2 minutes left. I want you to do 2 assignments for Friday. Obviously, I want you to get that Geogebra downloaded. I want you to see if you can get this shared folder done. But your 2 assignments are the 2 quizzes. So go to Tutorials, Quizzes, and Tests. One of them is the one that you already started, that Open Math quiz. And the other one is called Syllabus Quiz. It's listed right here. Now, this is different. You don't get multiple chances at this one. You answer them, they're true, false, you click it, and it's done. You only get 1 chance at it. Okay? So all the answers to that quiz you should have learned in class today. But if you still don't know, you can go back and watch the video, or you can read the syllabus, and all the answers are in there. So I want you to finish those 2 quizzes before you come to class on Friday. And then on Friday, we'll pick up with the first section that we're covering. So if you want to stick around and work on getting your shared folder and your GeoGebra and stuff like that, I will hang out for a while. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Friday.